Found this nice little nook right here, sheltered from the wind. Hopefully sheltered from the rocks. I don't know. There's a few big rocks that look like they landed close by here not terribly long ago. Back behind me there's a bowl, and that's where the deer are. That's where the deer were last year. There's a bunch of them. So tomorrow morning I'm gonna climb up there and just glass it up. It's been a long morning. So I climbed over that sketchy ridge from my campsite yesterday. It's in an alpine bowl just opposite of this one here. And it was actually too sketchy. I should not have hiked it. But I dropped down over here and there is just so many deer. I've probably seen 20 different deer in this small area. They're not really big. I've only seen one big buck, but he's a really nice buck and I'm gonna try and take him. But right now I've got my binoculars on a smaller buck down there. He's about as big as the one that I killed a couple years ago. First full day is a wrap. It was pretty eventful. Saw a lot of deer. Yeah, just being patient, glassing, trying to figure it out. Morning of day 2. Let's see if I can make a stalk or an ambush happen today. I literally have all the bucks together now. So that's a wrap for today. In the middle of the day, I was able to put a stalk on the biggest buck. About an hour and a half I got to the spot where he was bedded and he was no longer there. So I went back around and glassed, and he had moved not super far away, but I didn't see him, but at least I didn't scare him. There was 4 other bucks with him and they didn't run. They just kind of moved out of the area, but they weren't spooked, so we'll try again in the morning. So hunting this area really presents some logistical challenges. As you can see, my camp is at the top of this mountain. It's really bare and there's nothing up here. But the reason I have to camp here is, for one, is it's the only flat spot I could find. Everywhere else around me is really rocky, sheer drop-offs, cliffs over there. And also, if I wanted to camp lower to the deer, there's only one other spot, and it's near these like dwarf willows. kind of above the alpine bowl that the deer have been hanging out in. And the problem there is like at nighttime when the thermals go downhill, it'll bring my scent down to the deer, so I don't want to spook them. But also the deer move around in that area a lot at night, so I don't want to spook them in that way too. So just to make sure I'm doing everything I possibly can to be successful, I've had to hike up 1,000 extra feet just to camp here. And so every day in the morning I go down and hunt, and then in the middle of the day I come back up, cook lunch, read a book, take a nap, and then go back down again in the evening, and then come back up at night. So I have to do that back and forth twice. It's really challenging, you know, at the end of a long day to have to hike back up here. And to do that, you know, 4 days in a row has not been easy. But it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. I just glassed up a really big buck. He's right in those patch of trees right there. And I see him, and he's tucked in a tiny patch of bushes. The wind's bad now, so I'm trying to get above him. I'm trying to go up that steep ridge right there and stalk down. I had one of my best stalks ever. I hiked way around him. The wind was blowing really bad, but I think it was so consistently bad that he couldn't smell me. And I got right above him. And I started stalking down, and I pulled out my rangefinder and started trying to get a point, and it was not accurate at all. And eventually it said 50 yards. And so I put it was steep downhill, so I put like a low 40s on my sight and fired, and it just, bloop, the arrow went straight into the dirt, and that buck ran away. And so I was really bummed out, and I finally stood up and ranged actually where he was, like to know for certain, and it was like 85 yards. So apparently I'm really bad at judging distances, and I definitely rely way too much on my rangefinder. So that's something I need to work on. Sure hope this tent doesn't blow away. Alright, it's pretty late in the morning. It's like 9 o'clock. It's been raining all night and all morning. It's pretty bad. It kept me up all night. But I just started carefully glassing all around me. I wanted to get over to the next drainage, but I just started carefully glassing around me before I made any moves. And actually, right behind me, spotted a buck that I've never seen before. It's kind of a non-typical, and he's bedded in a really good place where I think I can stalk him and kill him. So I got probably about 40 yards away, and even having the ground wet from all the rain, it was so steep that I still kicked down a couple pebbles, like little small rocks, and they rolled down and kind of spooked him. The wind was good, and I saw him run down below me.